Next to Lotoshino, we see the Zavidovo Nature Preserve. It's known throughout the whole of Russia. It was founded back in 1929. The forests, glades, lakes and creeks here create an unbelievable picture of beauty. This was a favourite hideaway for Soviet leaders and current Russian statesmen. It's a real paradise for hunters and fishermen. Quite a number of well-to-do people today are purchasing plots of land next to the nature preserve and are building country houses here. All these factors have shaped a whole new branch of services in the area. Local dwellers have started breeding quail and ducks, as well as sturgeon, trout and carp in the area. But hardly anyone could have imagined a pheasant farm would spring up here. This is one of the few pheasant farms in Russia. It appears that a pheasant is an undemanding bird and stands up to frost quite well. Every pheasant fetches $20 from a hunter. The bird is let out in the wild and the hunt begins. After that, everything depends on luck. If you get the bird in your gun sight, then you're lucky. If not, the bird is brought back into the enclosure, as is so often the case. Larisa has been raising pheasants for 9 years. Together with her husband, she left Moscow long ago, without any regret, preferring the forest and freedom rather than life in the capital.
This is how pheasants react to signals of alarm, or whenever a hawk or some other predatory bird flies over the farm. The pheasants are immediately on their guard and hide in these shelters.
Today, Larisa has about 300 pheasants at the farm. Besides that, she has 2 cows, chickens, geese and this horse, which has yet to be broken in.
A horse is usually broken at the age of 2, but if it's strong, you can do it at an early age. I've started grooming it a bit, but I don't have enough time to do this seriously.
Larisa's husband, Kirill, is a game warden. Every day he inspects his territory to see no one is hunting without a license. Feeding wild boars is also part of his daily chores. In winter, these animals find it difficult to find food for themselves under the thick snow, and their short legs do not allow them to run fast. Exactly an hour before sunset, Kirill places feed into special deepenings in the snow. Wild boars are very sensitive animals, and that's why they only emerge from the forest at dusk to take the feed that has been left for them. Kirill says the number of boars has grown lately, and at present there are about 200 of them in the preserve. Unfortunately, very little of Lotoshino's former grandeur remains today. Everything was destroyed during the Second World War. The Germans occupied Lotoshino and its environs for 95 days, from October 1941 until January 1942. Several thousand civilians were executed during the occupation. Out of 146 settlements in the region, only 20 remained intact. The 600-year-old church survived only by a miracle. Built in 1398, it once contained the burial vault of the Myshirsky princes. During the years of Soviet rule, the church was used as a warehouse. But in 1996, local residents established a commune, collected donations and restored the church to its former glory. And again the church received its flock. Even people from nearby villages and hamlets came to pray. Services in winter are held only on important festive occasions, as the church never had a heating system. Grigory Bagulkin, a local artist, was the first to bring his works to the church. In the village, people refer to him simply as Uncle Grisha. He began painting only at the age of 70 when he retired. Before that, as he claims, he simply didn't have the time.
I began painting 4 years ago. Prior to that, I simply had too much work to do. So I've been doing this for 4 years already.
Lotoshino landscapes are the main subject of his paintings. Yet he's also made renditions of well-known Russian icons and postcards.
Then this small postcard of Tchaikovsky playing the piano came my way. Here's the room. And I did everything as it was in the photograph. But I was unable to do the face properly, the way it should be done.
Uncle Grisha's paintings have been displayed at local art galleries. As he himself says, the main goal of his creativity is to leave people something to remember him by.
Yes, inspiration comes to me when I simply take the paintbrush into my hand. And what attracts you simply seems to pull you to the canvas. After applying a couple of strokes, I feel happy. I'm simply fascinated by this, and I feel a need to do this, actually.
Uncle Grisha and his wife Kapitalina have quite a large and well-kept farm. Beehives in the backyard, a tractor the painter himself assembled, and their house is just as cheerful as Uncle Grisha's paintings. Every March, the residents of Lotoshino celebrate Maslenitsa, or in English, Shrovetide. That is, they are bidding farewell to winter. This merry and abundant feast comes to us from pagan times and was dedicated to the patron of the pasture land. Mother Nature was awakening from her winter slumber. The days became longer. Moreover, Shrovetide in the past coincided with the New Year, which was celebrated not in January as it is today, but in the spring, in the month of March. According to the Russian custom, on this day people asked for forgiveness. Another important tradition of this time is to bake pancakes. They're a symbol of the returning sun. It was as if all the people of the settlement gathered in the Central Park that day. The air was filled with the sound of joyous music. The people made merry and participated in various contests and games. At the same time, the traditional Lotoshino ski race was held, and anyone could participate in it. And at the end of the festivities, a scarecrow, symbolizing winter, was put to the torch. Lotoshino is famous not only for its fine singers, but also for its antique collectors. Sergei Tokalin, a local collector, is well known not only in his own district, but also beyond. He has a lot of oddities, such as vodka distilled back in the 1900s, toy motorcars, badges, and much more. But his pride and joy is a collection of samovars, which he's been gathering all his life.
The most beautiful samovar is the one I keep in hiding. I think it is the most beautiful one of all. I have about 50 samovars. All of them are different. They come from different cities, from Dnepropetrovsk, St. Petersburg, and Tula. Some of them are quite unique. This is where you put in the tea leaves, and here you open the tap and out comes boiling water. And on the other side, already brewed tea.
It's his dream for the local authorities to allocate premises for his collection so that any and all could appreciate his work.
I would like to have my collection housed in one place. At least the museums in Lotoshino or nearby Volokholamsk. Maybe someone would try and buy this collection, perhaps the Board of Culture, and then hand it over to some museum.
Sergei and his wife Klavdia hold a tea party at home every Sunday, and each time they select a different samovar from their huge collection. A blizzard broke out as night fell. The roads were covered with snow, and at the local House of Culture, The Dusha choir was rehearsing before the next concert.